Yes, sir. Please go ahead, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Good afternoon, everyone. And it's great to be back for our live session number 3. This is our last live session. And the main focus of our live session is going to be exams and people who are writing exams. So, all your exam related queries we will try to address here. One of the first things I wanted to sort of bring to notice is that all ticket and exam center related queries can be handled by support@nptel.ac.in. I believe that's the right address. And welcome to people who are on the Zoom call here, as well as people who are watching it on YouTube live, as well as people who are watching this recording. Hello to all of you and all the best for your exam. So straight away, we want to cut to the chase. Okay, so Shyam is our MC, so he will take us through the remainder of the time. Welcome, Shyam.
Yes, sir. Can we directly go ahead with the questions posted by the learners? Queries.
Sorry, say that again. Sorry.
May I audible now?
Yeah, much better.
We can directly proceed with the questions posted by the learners, right? Their
Yes, we
queries.
can start with that, then we'll move on to the exam stuff, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, the first question itself is regarding the examination.
Okay, good. That sets the tone. Okay. All right. The question is, yeah, please.
So they were Shaheen Begum wants to know about the nature of the examination and what materials are required to prepare, assuming that they have not watched the 4 weeks of videos. They wanted to know some crash course materials for preparing for this
Okay.
exam.
You want to start it first, Shyam, and then I will go in and add my usual.
Uh, I think the assignment questions are the one the learners should look for, because similar questions would be there in the examinations as well in the MCQ format. And on top of that, if you want to explore more, you can watch the videos, especially the one where Balasar narrates the journey of the EAST principles in the design thinking. A step ahead, if you want to score well, get that gold medal, silver medal, you can go for Balasar's Karmic Design Thinking book. The link is in the course page and its description.
Yes, thank you so much, Shyam. Yeah, so I don't think I have anything extra to add on. The material, so we are answering the second part of this question. What is the suggested material to read before the exam? Transcripts are the first source. The second source, like Shyam said, is going to be the assignment questions that we have asked based on the material covered in the course, as well as there's some extra. So that's the let's say icing on the cake, because it's things have moved on. We have learned few things from applying design thinking in the real world. That has been documented in the book, and that's why we say the book will have that as well. So we don't want to be behind in terms of what is the extra updates from when we recorded the course to when we wrote the exam. Perhaps in the future, may also add videos based on our updated knowledge of design thinking. However, you should be in a good state if you have been following the videos of the course and written down notes, try to understand. That's the first part. Second is if you miss that and now you're suddenly seeing that there is the exam and you want to really do well in that, transcripts probably if can help you save time, but there's still 500 odd pages, I think. But you can probably look at the lecture notes and see what is it that I have covered. We have covered in the syllabus in the course, and then the last part, in terms of material, is the book itself. I think many of you have bought it and have you started reading it, using it. Uh, I would say the exam is just one way to let ourselves know. Some of you, it may be mandatory, so you have to pass the exam and all that. But if you're, taking it for the knowledge, exam is one way to tell yourself how much you have retained, how much you've absorbed of the material in the course. And if you're going to want to go beyond that, the best way is to apply what you have learned in the real life, in trying to help somebody. So we have covered that in our live sessions also. In the course also, you saw Siddharth and company do that. Same I would suggest is to go out there, talk to strangers, meet strangers, and see where is it that we can help somebody, particularly people you're feeling strongly about. What can I do? And these principles, these concepts that we cover during the course will be really, really helpful then. If you still have problems, of course, you can ask during this live session. We have another 50 odd minutes. If you're watching this as a recording, then you can post it on the forum. We will try to our best to answer this question before the exam itself. Okay, so that's the in terms of the material. I guess the first part of the question, Shyam, is the format. We're going to cover that in detail anyway, I suppose. So just hang
Yes,
on to that. We are
we
going to
have
look.
some sample questions. Mm, there aren't any more queries on the G form, but
Okay.
I see some in the chat window here.
Okay.
One by Praveen. Praveen, would you want to unmute and ask the questions yourself to the professor?
Good evening, Professor. This is Praveen here. I have a question that you suggested that there will be some caselet questions.
Praveen, just a minute. Your voice is very feeble. Is it
Yeah.
possible for to
Yeah.
increase?
Can you come closer to the microphone or something?
Yeah, you can hear me now.
Oh, much better. Thank you so much.
Professor, I have a question for you. Is like you have suggested in the last few sessions that there will be a caselet questions in the exam. Now the concern is that these mostly will be a practical oriented questions.
Yes.
Like no doubt we are applying our concepts to day-to-day situations. But how to prepare for these kinds of caselets? Are there any internet-based material, or you can suggest some book material to go through it, so that we have a complete understanding of how to apply those concepts? No doubt, theoretical questions is on the one side, which is we can grasp your material. But when we apply these concepts on day-to-day needs, then it is very much critical that how we are applying the concepts well. So, you have any suggestions for this?
Okay. First of all, thanks, Praveen, for the question and for all the questions that you post. Very, very interesting questions, and your emails as well. I enjoy reading your emails,
Yeah,
uh,
thank you.
your questions. Thank you so much for that, for being so active and energetic. Um, so to the question of caselets, so we recognize that the audience who's taking the course is from, in fact, we've had 8th standard students all the way to, I don't know, people who have retired, people who are taking it for fun, people who are taking it very seriously. The certificates go as part of a promotion, perhaps, all that. So we can't identify a single persona to prepare the caselets about. So we have made it quite generic, that you will be able to relate to this person. So it could be, I remember way back when we had a case on an electrical engineering student. Now, if you look around, whatever the thing, you might find a student. So it's not about electrical engineering, it's about the student. So it's about a student who is trying to do a project and he wants to apply design thinking, just like our friend in the student in the course also, right? We have a skit. It's very similar to his case. And then now what happens if he has to apply design thinking and you will have multiple choice. So this is the standard format that we follow. The case itself is not very specialized. You don't need any domain knowledge per se, but it is still application oriented, meaning that this particular character, this person is going through this, and he or she wants to apply design thinking. What do you suggest? It won't be a theoretical answer or a writing kind of answer. It'll be multiple choice. So this is option A, B, and C, and D. And that's how we've framed the entire caselet cases, I guess. So in my opinion, yes, there are, I'm sure there are materials out there, but many of them are very specialized in a certain domain. So that's why we don't give you that kind of reference. But rest assured, you will be able to, if you've understood the concepts, you will be able to apply them, in the exam as well. I am not, giving you any reference because honestly, generic level, I don't think we have, and our
Okay.
hands are tied. We cannot share what the previous caselets were. So we are going to probably give you a sample to give you an idea of what this is. What we can't give you is practice to do this more often on just this caselet thing. So which is why we have the workshop where you can apply that on a real case. It won't help you in the exam because this is after the exam. It's in June is what we are deciding. However, caselets should be, and from our past experience also, caselets, we've asked students, we've looked at how the students' performance has been. The caselets are easy to understand. And I believe there are two cases in every question paper. There are two or three question papers, 22nd, 23rd, and 24th of March. There are three question papers, I suppose, or I'm not sure. So, but there is enough variety in there. I don't know when the exam is, but when the exam is there, we have two or three papers. They all have a standard sort of format, which is two caselets, some questions based on those, and it's purely application of these principles itself. So I hope I answered your question. If it's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
clear,
Thank you. Thank you very much, Professor.
okay, that works for you. All right. So Sham, drum rolls. You want to show some examples?
Sample question.
If there are any further questions, also let us know. Oh, and there's one more, right? Nishant asked how to get pass in NPTEL exam. Okay. Well, we can tell you the criteria, can't we? The
You
best
can.
3 out of 4, something like that, right? Yeah. So it's best 3 out of 4 assignments you should have submitted. We will take that, and it should give you if it's out of 25. So if you wait 3 into 100, you'll get 300. Convert that into out of 25. If the number is more than 10, then first hurdle is cleared in terms of the assignments. Now, the next hurdle is the 75% that you'll have to do in the exam, right? So this is a proctored exam in a exam center, and whatever marks you score, yeah, thank you so much. This is exactly what I was looking about for. So this 75% of the proctored exam, weightage of 75%, will be taken. And if you've scored 30 and more, and 10 and more in the assignments, you're good for a certificate. So to answer Nishant's question, this is what the answer is. How do you get pass? You should have got 10 at least if you convert that 300 into 25. So how do you do that? Let me do that. 300 divided by 25. That's 12. So sum up your 3 best scores and divide it by 12, you should get what you have out of 25. Okay. And reminder, if you scored beyond more than 10, more than or equal to 10, then you're good for at least, the exam score will also be counted. And if that is more than 30, then you're good for a certificate. Okay. Manjunatha's question is the entire question paper MCQ based? Shyam, I'll let you answer this.
Okay, the question paper will be of multiple choice questions only. Some standalone MCQs, whereas section B or the second part of the question paper would be based on the caselets or small case study, which you should answer based on that particular case study and the application of design thinking principles. And the follow-up question is also there. Is there negative marking, sir? No, there is no negative marking. Time limit is 3 hours. You can click on submit button after it is enabled for around 90 minutes, 1.5 hours. So you can take enough time to patiently answer those questions. In fact, all questions, and then submit the examination.
Yeah, purely from a data analytics purpose standpoint, rather, we found that close to 50-60% of the students submitted around 1.5 hours to too close to 2 hours. So on an average, we've seen that's how long students take to complete somewhere between 1.5 to 2 hours. So that's not saying anything, and this is purely observation of data, those blue dots that we keep seeing after the course is done. That's what we have seen. Okay, so that's another frequently asked question, which is how long would it typically take for me to complete the exam? Some people do sit around till 3 hours, but we found that on an average, somewhere between the average lies between 1.5 to 2. That's the thing I wanted to add.
There is one question from Anuradha Rohit. And the question is it required to write point of view statement, and how might be statements in defined case probably? Would you want to answer that, sir?
Yes, I can answer that. The answer is no. We don't have any descriptive questions. They're all multiple choice because of the sheer number. I would have loved to hear your point of view statements and how might be statements. However, due to the magnitude of the number of people taking this exam, for us at least, we haven't found a way to do this en masse in so many numbers. So we stick to multiple choice questions and multiple select questions only. And predominantly, like I said earlier, if you missed that, it's 50 to 60% based on recall and some amount of case applications where you have to apply those concepts and you get to know. Hope that answers your question. If not, please let us know.
Okay. Again, an operational query from Pranit, and he's asking if someone has done only 2 assignments, are they eligible for certificate?
Oh, I'm so sorry, Praneeth. Unfortunately, NPTEL requirements for a 4-week course is that you should have done at least 3 out of the 4. If you've done push the submit on one of them, and there are 3 who have some low scores, that's still counted. Of course,
Yes.
there's some has to, like I said, take all the total best 3. Divided by 12, you should get 10 plus, and then you're eligible for this. Of course, you need to score 30 also, but that's how the rules are. We didn't make the rules, but we are. This is what it is. That's what we can tell you. Right.
One more operational query from Sonika Pandey.
Okay.
When we will receive the admit card for the particular exam?
Okay. Shyam, you have to tell me.
NPTEL office have posted announcements stating that the hall ticket would be released at least 2 weeks before, but I think there's only 9 days more to go.
Yeah.
Could you please write an email to support@nptel.iitm.ec.in? I think it should be out by now. Probably
Yes.
by today or next week, Monday, it should be there on your course page.
Yes. So this time, I mean, uh, I'm also enrolled as a student in our courses just to see from your point of view what's happening. And I have not received any communication on I mean, the last communication we got was that here is the list of exam centers, and you should get the hall ticket or the admit card very soon, yet to be released is what the last status was. So unfortunately, we don't have any extra update compared to that email, that announcement. So that's where it stands. We still don't know about the hall ticket. Usually, typically, I've seen that 10 to 14 days before the exam, they're there. I think this time the volume is extraordinarily high. That they're still trying to find ways to accommodate this extra volume. Yeah, same is with our course. Also, this time we see an extraordinary high amount of students taking this course in this semester. So I can totally imagine what's going on from their point of view. And there are high efficiency team, yes, but they're a small team also. So rest assured, they're working very hard to get you the admit card. I've seen them work, so you can take my assurance that it's coming. It'll come before the exam. Just hang on a little bit more.
Again, a question from Praveen.
Okay.
If the question is multi-select question, MSQ, and there are multiple correct answers, but maybe one or two choices is not correct, how the score criteria is decided for that question?
Okay, I'll take a stab at it and correct me if I'm wrong, Shyam. You're better suited to answer that, but I'll take a stab myself. There are partial correct answers are given right, partial weightage. If suppose there are three answers which are correct out of four, and you answered two of them right, leaving out one right answer, you will get that based on the two you've answered right. So partial marks you will get. However, if you've selected the fourth one, which is not right, but you've selected, let's say, the three ones which are correct, then I believe you will not be given marks at all because you selected the wrong one. That's what I understand and remember the rules for the multi-select is. Shyam, please correct me if I'm wrong.
It's correct, sir. It's absolutely the right way. There are 2 or 3 dates for this examination. I think the one that is being conducted on 24th of March may not have MSQ in the question paper. Whereas if you are in the list of candidates who would be taking up this examination on an additional day, that question paper may have this MSQ format of question. And whatever professor has stated would apply in that scenario.
Yeah. Did we answer everything I have posted before? Negative marking, admit card. Yes, Nalini, we've already answered this in the start of this meeting. So at the end of this, if you can go back, I'll post the YouTube link if you want. And you should find the answer. This is a recorded meeting, so you will find the answers. The start of the meeting. Here's the YouTube. And after this meeting is done, which is at 5 o'clock, you will need to watch this YouTube video somewhere at the start. I have answered this. Okay.
Again, Manjunath's question on the examination date. March 24 is the examination date, which you can see on the course page. Like we have stated before, if you are in the list of learners who will be taking it upon a later date, you would get that information well ahead of time along with the hall ticket. When we will receive the hall ticket from Nishant, same, it has been answered by Prof already. It should take not take more than 1 week from the date of exam. We'll get it before that.
Yes. And SRK has been kind enough to answer on behalf of us. Thank you so much. Okay. There's a question by Anuradha Purohit,
Yes.
which says, my question is, in defined phase of design D, is it required to write both point of view and how might we statement to write problems? Okay. I thought you were asking only the from an exam standpoint. All right. Define in our methodology is analyze. So we in this methodology, let me rephrase. Maybe it's a repetition for most of you. Empathize is the first stage. Analyze, solve, and test. EAST is what we use in this course. The define that comes from the Stanford methodology is analyze in this, which is we are trying to define a problem, what the customers are going through. We are trying to redefine it in our own way. We apply our mind to figure this out. So that's the main emphasis of analyze. So the question is, should I write both point of view and how might we statements to write problem statements? So I'm not sure what you mean by point of view. In this case, we take personas, we define the persona, and the entire story is from their point of view. Okay, if that's what you were referring to. Finally, when we list down the problems could be a stakeholder point of view as well. It could be the customer's point of view, or it could be a generic point of view also. We, at least in this methodology, do not stipulate it that it has to be only from the user point of view. In general, most of us, when we try to do the persona from the point of the stories from point of view of the customer or the user, we stick to problems from their point of view. In some cases, it may be different as well from a stakeholder. Like let's say the child, the distracted child in one of our videos, right? So if you look at it from that point of view, from the child's point of view, the student's point of view, the problem is, how do I focus on the syllabus that's going on? However, it could also be, how do we finish the syllabus on time? Okay, so that so it could be the teacher's problem also we can try to solve. It can be because it is in this scenario, it is in the picture, we can see that. But we have accommodated the stakeholder, which is the teacher, and we have accommodated the student, who is the user or the persona itself. Okay. Then when we take the problem statements, we convert that into a how might we. And in our methodology, we use how might we not as an analysis tool. We use it merely to reframe the problem statement into a question. We reformulate the statement into a question. How might we reduce distractions inside class? How might we complete the syllabus on time, right? Covering the syllabus on time is a problem. How might we help the teacher cover the syllabus on time? So this is the inversion of the problem statement into a question. That's how we use it in this methodology that we use here. Okay, I hope that answers your question. Okay.
Nishant is very worried.
Nishant is worried. Why is Nishant worried? Oh, want to get pass mark in exam? What do I do? Okay. uh, First of all, you don't have to worry. Worry actually gives you nothing. We have been, all of us here have been through exams many times over. So worrying only makes you more less efficient in remembering stuff and to apply stuff. So first of all, focus on something positive and focus on the sheer joy of learning. Let me put it that way. Okay. So worry never, I mean, if you're worrying and doing something about it, then great. That means you should use that worry in a positive sense. But other than that, it doesn't really get you there. Now, coming back to the exam, if you have, looked at the videos and followed the concepts slowly, methodically, this exam will also be fairly straightforward. Let me put it this way. Okay. Uh, and okay, there are all. Wait, let me focus on Nishant's question. So, if you're fairly been regular with following, it's exactly like your physical in-person class, where if you've been attending the class, listening to what the teacher is saying, taking down notes, discussing with your fellow students after the class, getting to know the stuff that you don't understand, getting it cleared then and there, you're in a good shape already. You've started internalizing the concepts, or you've already internalized it. Okay. Now, then go back to the assignments and see if you've done all of them right. Good for you. Revise them. See what the concepts are that are in the course. If not, if you made some mistakes, if you made a lot of mistakes, learn from that. Learn from, oh, I did not get this. How come? Oh, let me go look at the discussion forum. People have talked about this. There are many, many very, very interesting questions that were asked in the discussion forum. You can learn from those as well. I have tried my best to also explain some of the concepts there. Read through those. Okay. This is actually, we should cover it, Sham. Even discussion forums is a good source of reading also. They're quite succinct and they focus on the subject matter in the course. So look at that and pretty much you're on a good track already. And there's nothing extra that you need to do beyond internalizing the concepts, discussing it with your classmates, and getting to know what this design thinking is all about and what we talked about. Okay. All right. Yes. We've already, oh yeah, you've answered it, Shyam. Previous year model papers. So we have answered some, one of these questions. We have given some samples from, actually we're supposed to do that now. We will do it. We will do it. Yeah, why don't we do that first? Let's show some sample questions. Okay.
So here's one sample question. If you know the answer, the learners here can type the option in the chat window. I'll read out the question. In this course, which thinking tool did we employ during the empathize phase of the karmic design thinking? Option A, empathy mapping. Option B, customer journey mapping. Option C, Google isometric mapping. Option D, Bala's jawline mapping.
No points for guessing who set this question. Okay.
Okay, Vishal has answered, Sonika has answered, Nishan, fine. Anybody else? Raghavendra says A, empathy mapping. Sivakumar R says option A, empathy mapping. Prashant Yadav B, customer journey mapping. No one wants to choose option C and D.
I was hoping somebody would say D.
Pranit.
Okay.
Hello. Sir, first when I read this question, no, like when I see this KDT, I become shocked. What is this term? And then when Shyam told na like karmic design thinking, then I realized okay. So I think if such questions comes, this may be little surprising to us in the examination center. So
Yes.
better would be to write it like complete word if possible.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. We have this is just a sample question.
Okay.
We've made reviews of the question paper before it's published.
Sure.
Now here is another thing that goes on at the backdrop of NPTEL courses, which is if lots of you get it wrong, it gets flagged saying, "Hey, students are not getting this right.
Got
Is the question right? Are the
it.
responses right?" Such
Mm-hmm.
questions are asked to us. So
Okay.
at the time, we do make the decision saying, "Oh, wow, somebody hasn't expanded KDT, and that's
Sure.
probably not, they're not aware of this." So
Mm-hmm.
we make decisions like, should we keep this question or ignore this question? You're in good hands. Don't worry about that.
Sure, sir. Got it.
Yeah, so there is a lot of checks and balances in the system, and I appreciate how NPTEL handles the whole thing, and gives us lots of data analytics on how things are going. So yes, we do understand.
Okay. Let's move on to the answer section, after which Prof will explain the concept behind it. The right answer is option B, customer journey mapping. Sir, would you want to throw some light on this?
Yes, so it's in our course, we call it customer journey mapping and not empathy mapping, because we examine stories of customers from the field. We do go and it is in a way it is empathy mapping because we are empathizing with them. However, we call it customer journey mapping because we mine stories, we track the entire journey. We look at different various personas of people and their stories and what they're trying to achieve in this. So, and that's how we've always called it. We've never called it empathy mapping in the course. So hence, B is the right answer.
So moving on to the next question, which will be case-based question.
Yay.
Okay. Sarlak used to sell tender coconuts in the IIT Madras campus. In 2020, due to the national lockdown, her work got affected as the campus was sealed and students were sent home. Janani, a student, was a regular customer before the lockdown and realized the effects of the lockdown on Sarlaka. Thankfully, Janani has also studied design thinking and decided to help her. Considering this situation, place yourself in Janani's shoe and answer the following question. So the question here is based on the caselet given above. So take your time, 1 to 2 minutes, and then learners can post answer here, after which we will discuss the solution for this. One more minute to go. Mr. Raghavendra, there is only one right option in this question. So you may choose to answer either C or B.
Yeah, the best one. You can choose the best one.
Few more seconds. All right. Vishal, Manjunatha, Garima, Chandrasekhar, Ashifa have answered B. Raghavendra is A. Ananya, Chandrasekharan has answered C. Professor, would you want to uh, explain this? Can we move on to the answer?
You want me to explain this? Okay.
Yes.
All right. So what we need to look for is the best of the answer among this. So we have interviewed one customer, and let's say we have done the customer journey map, and we realize that we have found out what is the journey look like, what are the problems. Okay. So, but she is just one customer, and you can't start doing everything for her alone. The usual way in which we do on-field projects is to develop it for either multiple personas or the same persona but multiple people in it. So that's why B is the right answer, because we never base it on just one customer. Because it might be just Sarlaka who's going through this, and maybe there are no more. So if you're going to develop solutions only for, and then now you have to look for other people like Sarlaka after you're done with the solution, and that may be very, very specific to her own situation. That is something that we do not want, and that's why we look at not only her but people like her at the empathize phase itself. So that's why we call it persona and not client in the starting. Why? Because if you say client, it's only for that one person. Many times when we say client, it's only for that person. We develop a solution and deliver it. Usually a large company, or those are clients. But in this case, this is a person. When we talk to many persons, we can develop saying, okay, in this region, this is the typical sort of seller persona, and these are the problems that have unearthed. Many times we never keep a single problem list, but have a growing problem list. Because when we keep talking to people like Sarlaka, we keep developing more and more problem statements. It could be not even coconuts. It could be something else. Or if you choose, you only contact coconut vendors and try to develop a solution for them. So, or do the design thinking project for them. So our best advice, or to, if Janani were here, I would ask her to do B, talking to more vendors to understand their plight, and then work out a more generic solution for all the coconut sellers. Yeah, I guess that's what it is. Like Uber and customer solution, right? So what happens is after many iterations. So this EAST, empathize, analyze, solve, and test, is not just one from start to end, but it needs to be iterated many times over. That time, if you are basing it just on Sarlaka, then it's a very, very difficult proposition, because it may work for her, but it may not work for somebody else. Now you need to figure out and start doing the exercise all over again and many times over. So then the development of solution becomes a very, very tricky task, because you have to now vary the prototype based on this particular customer, new customer or new findings. And that may be an expensive proposition in many, many cases. So, which is why we try to iron it out in the first stage itself. There's a question on, I completed week 4 assignment, I will get pass or not? Shyam, Praveen, hang on, we'll finish this first and then come to your question.
Nishant, you need to submit the assignments, all 4 assignments, well grade, and also appear for the examination, the exam center.
Yes.
After that result, you know what your score is, whether you will pass.
Best best 3 assignments. You should have attempted at least 3 and scored at least 10, weightage 10. So add the 3 that you have appeared for, divided by 12, you'll get out of 25. It should be more than 10, the score. That's your first hurdle. Second hurdle is to write the exam and score 30 or more. So I hope that answers your question, Nishant. Let's go to Praveen. I think you asked a similar question in the discussion box. How about if we get conflicting problem statements from various users in the empathy phase? Please let me know the way out. Oh yes, this is a very, very interesting situation to get yourself in if that's the case. I would write them as problem statements all the way. Then you get curious about why did X ask for this and Y ask for this. What's their real? So in the analyze phase, this becomes straightened out. You figure out why is it that they're asking for a blue car, whereas the other person is asking for a black car. What is the reason for that? And you get curious, you can get more into that. It may be contradictory. That's fine. The way out is to get curious about why did they choose what they chose. And if it still continues to be a conflict, you can't really find out you can't unearth the needs. Then look at what you can provide in the conflict of interest. You can frame that as a problem saying, I want it blue for this customer, but black for this customer. How do I solve this? Generate ideas for those. So that's a way out. You may be one of the few people who can provide a car which appears blue and black to do 2 different people. So that's a great solution. So yeah, conflicts are very interesting because of that reason. You don't have to get way out of it. You need to solve the contradictions. Conflicts need to be solved. Okay. And
Okay,
if
sir.
you're stuck, you can use the twist triggers also. Do it the other way around. Some of the principles that we talked about, you can use that to solve the conflicts. Yeah, somebody had a question.
Yeah, I just want to have one more clarification. Is that suppose the analysis phase becomes very complicated with multiple problem statements, and you come to a compromising situation, whether you come to know whether which analysis phase leads to a given solution. So, like there are sometimes that you have to compromise on the solution also. So, how
No.
you evaluate that phenomena, in the analysis phase?
No, don't compensate at all. Compromise at all is my strong suggestion. If the analysis is complicated, it needs clarification. That means our understanding of the problem is not clear. That's what it is happening, right? So if in the analysis phase, if you are not able to figure out what is really going on, that means our understanding of the problem is not up there good enough for us to think about a solution. We need to spend more time. So before going into the solution, because the solution keeps changing. Today it is X. You want to do X as the solution. Lots of times my students have already thought of the solution. And now they're working backwards to see what analysis will fit that solution. Okay. So you're desperately trying to get the solution X. It is not a math answer or a chemistry answer. Design thinking is an evolution of analysis. The more Sarlakas you meet, the more Jananis you become, the more answers, the more solutions will change based on your current understanding of the problem. So it is all based on what kind of questions you ask. How many, if you can't do it all by yourself, you need another person to look at it. They may be able to clarify. If you're all technologists, get a sociologist. If you're all sociologists, get a, I don't know, an environmentalist. They will give you a completely different perspective and the analysis might become a lot easier. So
would the tool called mind mapping will help in this case? Because
yeah,
many times we have not touched on this tool in this course, but sometimes mind mapping also helps us, to evaluate what is the perceptions of the customer from a situation to situation. Like today, you have said that situation, that solution is satisfactory in today's case, but tomorrow that solution can be different.
Yeah. So any tool that can help you clarify the solution. So we have suggested a couple in the analysis, but this is not the only two. There are many, many tools to help you analyze. Whatever be it, mind mapping, concept mapping, value stream mapping, there are lots of maps which can help you. Feel free to pick one that can, people do what's called FMEA analysis for, finding out what's wrong in this, root cause analysis and all that. So you can pick any tool that you want. The core is to figure out what is it that is bothering our customers and why is this happening. Be curious, and this sometimes it you can even split and focus on one part of the problem, right? Rather than trying to solve the system level problem, can I try to solve the user level problem and then work my way to the system, right? Many other times we get bogged down by the amount of detail. There's a lot of overwhelm because of so many things that are going on in a problem. Maybe you want to distill it down to just a few elements, maybe one element. Maybe make a difference in that. Start there and then work your way to the rest of these things.
Okay,
Yeah,
thank you.
mind map, if it helps, go ahead and use it.
No, because many times now in a given area, like an operations management, we are using value stream mapping. In quality circles, quality management, we are using cause and effect diagram. Those are Pareto principles. But problem is that it is what kind of concept we are using it. Certain times the concept may not work because it depends on the experience. The user experience is the key.
Why didn't the solution work? Could be a great insight. So it's not about the solution, it's not about the problem itself, but the thing that it didn't work, try to figure out why it didn't work. And that could be a great insight. Added to it as saying that it didn't work because, and that's the next iteration of the whole thing.
Okay.
So thank you so much for that. Nice.
There is one interesting question from Vishal. Vishal asked, for multi-why analysis, at what number of why should we stop? Is there a finite number, or it would continue until we are satisfied with enough information that we have? And he wants to know regarding this.
All right. Thank you, Vishal, for the question. The question is, at what level do I stop the whole multi-why analysis? Looks like it can go on forever. So one of the telltale signs of using multi-why is the level of understanding you have about the problem itself. Sometimes you can get up to level 3, okay, which means that's all you know about the problem. Or it doesn't shed light on the problem itself, but it sheds light on your understanding of the problem. Here, our main emphasis is to figure out 1, root cause, 2, what do you understand about the problem, and be curious about it. If you can't answer it yourself, try to find out who can help you with the analysis. Okay, so try to keep going. There are thumb rules which can help you to figure out what is the last why that can be asked. I have a few thumb rules. One thumb rule is if it reaches a natural limit. Okay, so chemistry says it's 2.5. I don't know, some value is 2.5. Why is it 2.5? Well, chemistry says this, and I'm no chemist. I'm going to assume that's correct, and we'll stop the analysis there. Or any other natural law like biological, physical limit. Laser is traveling at the speed of light, and I want it to go faster. Why isn't it traveling at more than the speed of light? Well, physics, current law says that nothing can exceed the speed of light. Okay, there you go. That's a natural law. We can't question that. That's a natural law, right? So those could be one place, or an administrative law. The car should not travel beyond 60 kilometers on that highway. Why can't it travel more than 60 kilometers per hour? I have so many horsepower in my engine. Well, it's the legal limit on that highway, right? So unless you're a lawmaker yourself, you can't really question that. That's set by law. So natural or administrative laws sometimes figure out our ending of our analysis. Another could be you are information specialist, okay, an IT specialist. And this has gone beyond and gone on to the infrastructure. You have to change it's now the problem is at the cell phone tower level. Okay. And you are not a cell phone tower person, you are an information technology expert. Okay. Since it goes beyond your expertise and beyond your circle of influence, you can stop there also. That's one more way to do it. But you won't understand the problem in its entirety. That's another thing. So you may want to find out why isn't the tower helping you at all, and you can get a person who's an expert in that tower and figure out that answer. Okay, so you can go. So that sort of sometimes gives you some limits, but I want to sum it up by saying that the level of wise tells you the limit if you're or the team's level of wise tells you at what level should you at what level do you understand the problem. That's the limit it usually stops at. Okay,
Thank you, sir.
you're welcome. How to empathize the people who are not mentally stable or having some mental problem, like someone who changes his or her mood immediately. Okay. Thank you so much for that question. I'm going to say that I am not a medical practitioner. Neither have I interacted with personas from similar to yours. However, I can give you some tips. If you are a trained expert and you can see it from their point of view somehow, then or consult experts who can help you with this. So if you're not a trained professional in this, I would say consult somebody who can help you, interacting with people like this. Do not try to do it yourself if you're not a trained professional in this arena. Okay, that's my first tip to you. The second tip is people who are working with them, who are caretakers. They may be able to shed light on this persona. Okay, so it's I like I said, my disclaimer was I'm not a medically trained professional or I've not had experience, dealing with personas like this that you've described. So that was my first disclaimer. I still retain that, but I would say these are the two tips that come to me is that one, you can if you're a trained professional yourself, then you can use those, treat it gingerly, and you can note it down. What does it look like? What does the story look like from their point of view? Second is, if you have a trained professional, if you yourself are not a trained professional, find out a trained professional who can help you with this and get their point of view on patients like these or people like these. And the third way is to talk to stakeholders who are caretakers, not professional but caretakers, who are constantly looking at people like these. They probably have a better understanding of people who are not able to express themselves in the best manner. Let me put it that way. Okay, thank you anyway for that question. If this question, if my response is not, satisfactory for you, please do write to me. These are very sensitive issues, so I don't want to give you all of the details. You can write to me, and probably we can take the conversation forward.
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have one question related to this completion rate of this NPTEL portal. So when I look at this portal, under this review assessment, I can see my completion, sorry, not under review, I think progress, right?
Progress.
So under progress, I can see my progress is somewhere around 90%, or maybe like currently it's like 80%, yeah, sorry, 98 something, right? So what I'm asking, like the recording which I have joined now, like this one in which we are now. So this also will get uploaded over there in this portal, right?
No.
No,
So
right?
when we say progress, there are two things there. One is the video watching progress. That's entirely for you. We are not calculating anything based
Okay.
on that.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you are attending the live session, thank you so much for doing that. This is primarily to address your questions in a synchronous format rather than the asynchronous in discussion forum or comments anywhere. So
So
that's
what I'm asking, like, if like 90% only I would able to complete there, and I am not completing rest of 2%, will I able to give the exam, or I need to have complete like 100% in under progress?
okay. So like I said, the video progress is not counted at all. The
Okay.
assignment scores, in
Hmm.
the assignment scores you have out of 100, right? Those
Yes.
are the only ones we count. We do not count even if you've, I don't know, if you skipped a video or two, it's okay. We are not going to penalize you based on what you've seen or how much is the progress in the video watching itself.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Okay. So unit wise progress is fine, but mainly like assessment score should be there, right?
It's the assignments. Yes, the assignment. There are 4 assignments.
Yes, 4 assignment.
Yeah,
Yeah,
out of
all
which
four I
you have to have submitted at least 3
am.
and scored at least 10 out of 25.
Yeah, yeah, that is good. Yeah, that's right. Okay, sir.
Uh,
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, thank you so much for your question. I think we are out of time. Let me address the last comment here, which says, unfortunately, I joined this session 30 minutes late. That's perfectly okay. We understand we have different times. You have different things to do. We totally understand that. This is not counted towards any mark or any attendance or anything. This is primarily to address all your questions. Yes, the recorded video is available on YouTube at this link here. You can watch the rest, the full recording. Our previous live sessions are also recorded. You should be able to catch them on NPTEL's YouTube channel. All the live sessions are out there. I think I might have shared the link also on the discussion forum for the previous one. So all the best to everyone for the exams, and we'll see you in the workshop, which is supposed to be in June. We'll see you there, and all the best for your exams. And thanks, Shyam. Thanks, everybody. Then thanks, NPTEL for media team for making this happen. Thanks a lot, everyone.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.